This big building, if you look closely, resembles a cruise ship. And I'll photograph it if I can tonight when it's dark, and it'll make it very evident. This is the Hostel's common room or bar room, where there's free Wi-Fi, there's food. And that's where I would sit over there to while away some of the day. This is the train to Edinburgh. This is the station, at least about a third of it. Love the speed of the modern trains and the smoothness, although I love the old trains too.
Change this, one edge.
Are we getting? No, we're on to the last stop.
Something or other upon Tweed. This is apparently either a river or an inlet. With its own town walls, no less. Berwick. Cruising into Edinburgh. This is a train station in Edinburgh in the process of being totally redone, so it's a colossal mess downstairs. There, underneath the sign that says Doric and the Hebrides, is further on down, right there, is my hostel, St. Christopher's, but you won't notice it because it's dominated by signs for its business part. And today I'm just going to wander around, try to replicate the tour I took yesterday, the free tour. These old, interesting looking classic buildings, including the strange Harry Potter ones. Most of all, this one isn't even Harry Potter, at least if it is, it's the darkest side of Harry Potter. I have to explore later today. To give you an idea of the winds that blow here, this is some of last night's carnage, I believe. As I commented in most of my videos, the tops of buildings, particularly in Europe, are the most interesting. So I'm going to pan just the top of the surrounding buildings so you get a feel of it. I'll even zoom in to them a bit. I don't yet know what this building is, but certainly it gives a dark image. Here's a statue of the Black Watch, which of course we know is the name of a plaid. Maybe when I get over there we'll learn more about it. Why does the glory of man seem to be so embedded in war? And Mackers Court, where we're standing, celebrates the lives and works of Scottish writers from the 14th century to the present day. Each of those writers has an inscription from their writings in the cement walkway. And one of the few that I would recognize, Sir Walter Scott. This is my own, my native land. My guess is that such fiery images as this one suggests are only known to those who know Scottish history. And here is a noble, but I think a foolish premise for committing future lives to death by war. This by a relatively recent writer, 1923-2001, Dorothy Dunnett. Where are the links of the chain joining us to the past? A twist on what are the links of the chain joining us to the past. And something like this, written by William Dunbar in the 15th, 16th century, early 16th, are incomprehensible because I can't understand the writing. We're now entering Lady Stair's Close, and a close simply means a tight little alleyway. The date notation on Lady Stair's home, featuring Sir Walter Scott and Robbie Burns. And here you get an idea of a close in its classic sense. The buildings were very close together. Eventually, at some early century, they were covered over, and thus began the term close. Now, a close was often named for the wealthiest person who lived on the close, or at it. In this instance, it was Lady Stair's, and this was her home. And an elegant little building it is. One of the relatively few buildings that seems of stone that to me seems light and pretty of its own. And here is Lady Stair's Close. Now this entitled Lady Stair's Too Close, or Lady Stair's Close number 2, however, appears to be somewhat new, but maybe not. Now just on the side of the courtyard where Lady Stair's home is this remaining example of a trip stair. And if you look at the second stairway down, the second tread and rise, if you will, the darker one between the two lighter ones, that was the trip stair. And its purpose was to be purposely of a different height than the rest of the stairs, so that someone sneaking up at night in the dark wouldn't know where that stair was, would trip on it, make noise, and could thereby be bludgeoned by the owner if the owner had the courage to come out and confront the man. Standing in James Court, which is probably down James Close, which I could reach internally from Lady Stair's Close and courtyard. We're standing in another courtyard. The guide pointed something out very interesting yesterday, that in the old days, these buildings that we're looking at here would have been, and I'm not sure if this is the example she showed us, I don't think it is, but I'll find it, of the tenements where the poor lived. And unlike this building, which is maybe 4 or 5 stories high, depending upon what the stories are, they oftentimes went 12, 14, 16 stories high, if you can believe it, and without these black pipes, which are the modification and adaptation to modern sewer disposal. So in fact what people did was to throw into these inner courtyards all of the filth and trash from these upper stories, so that this area here would have been completely inundated by the stink of what would be in today's flush toilets. It was left for the rains, which sloped the water down on this slope here, to wash that debris out and down through channels into an area off to the left, which is where we will find the park today later on. But once imagine that that was a poo lake filled with the excrement of humanity that lived here. Apparently a memorial to a woman, Susanna Alice Stephens. And this is the entrance to James Court off of the Royal Mile. And this is Lady Stair's close and the Writers' Museum that we looked at from the Royal Mile.